these big rigs travel the distance between Fairbanks and Prudhoe, the oil fields in Alaska. We're on our way north from Fairbanks. At this point, we're just about 10 miles outside of Fairbanks. Here's the latest condo project. It's called Permafrost View Limited. This is the first one. It seems to have settled, or else that's the way it's supposed to be, but regardless, no one's home now. A view towards Fairbanks. We're heading north. 400 miles of the most grueling traffic conditions in the world. The Bonsai Trail to Prudo Bay. Who knows what we'll find along the way? But as we go, we'll film things. We'll note things. We'll talk. We'll chat. We'll look for things that are of interest. And there's the road north. So off we go. This cold winter day, January 28th.
I got a person up there running interference for me if he won't get me. I'll be up to the bottom of the hill. Okay, Andy, thank you.
Laying in the snow, it could be a rodent or a beaver or a... Wait a minute. That's too big to be a beaver. This is Alaska. Could be a horse or something. Well, we'll continue on our trek north, looking for wildlife like this in this great land, the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Where are we at now, buddy?
We're at about 34 miles north of Fox.
Is that
we're on the Haul Road.
Is that the pipeline over there?
Yeah, in the background here, that silver thing.
Tell you, what do you do on these trips north, Ron?
Oh, I chew a little tobacco and I look at the dumps, view the wildlife.
Did you see that thing in the snow back there?
Yeah, I've seen several of those in my trips north.
What do you reckon it was?
Well, I don't know. It was a little big. In the summertime, there are beaver down in there. But it looked like it's a real big one if it's a beaver.
And off we go, north! North! Next stop! Who knows? We're looking for stuff of interest for this thing we're doing. But there were some people back there off the road. I'll ask Ron. Ron, what were those things? Were those people back there? Who were they?
I don't know, John. I've seen those once or twice, too. It happens every couple of years.
That's just life on the Haul Road, ain't it?
It's just life on the Haul Road. You never know what's coming next.
Off we go, north! North to Prudo Bay, the Beaufort Sea, and Alaska's wealth. Pump Station 7, where Ron has an inspection to make. Come on, go ahead. Go around him, Ron. Come on, Ron, past him. Past him. Oh, my God, Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh. Oh, good, Ron.
Yeah, you top gas longer. You guys have a good one. Do it safely. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Well, what was that, Ron?
Truck
What do you think happened?
ran him off the road.
Okay, Nate just stepping off 28th with them. Oh, that line's coming your way. 28. Now, Dunsburg, a high-speed Pablo is coming your way, too. Oh, kind of reminds me of the MD-500 up there today. Oh, yeah. This is Memorial Day, ain't it? I think so.
Can you believe those guys?
We're talking about you, Ron.
The Indy 500, I'm doing between 45 and 50 miles an hour. They pass me left and right and then bad mouth me after they're by. Truckers. This is a burn area here, Joe.
Have you heard anything about the takeover of the oil pipeline by DEC socialist types? You know, there's been some rumors around that.
You know, I heard that, John. I heard we got a comrade, thank God, for a commissioner, and, or at least he was an appointee. He hasn't been confirmed yet. But I heard that they were when he took over, he was really going to take over, if you know what I mean.
Have you seen any indication on the trip besides ones? It looks a little bad. I've seen a few armored personnel carriers, and
yeah, I that's just precautionary measures. I don't think too much of it. There's
it's all a rumor, isn't it?
yeah, it's just all rumor. There's people get real upset just because Sheffield appoints a socialist into his cabinet, and they don't think it'll have any effect. I mean, we know that he can separate his politics from decisions, you know.
Well, then the last thing we should even have to, it's all rumors then that there are armed people out here along the haul road.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's just, best I can tell.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Ron,
Yeah.
what was that?
What was what, John?
What was that down by the pipeline?
Oh, it's nothing, John. No, we can definitely separate any kind of, I mean, I didn't see anything, John.
Okay, Ron. We'll continue our trek north along the Dalton Highway. We're in whiteout conditions now, and we're able to see where we're going. There seems to be a little bit, sometimes you see things in whiteouts that aren't They're not really there. You just imagine they're there. I think.
We might have been wanting to turn down here.
Bridge crossing. We've seen quite a little bit of activity.
He's got a death lock on her. I think maybe he thinks one of them smooth talking truck drivers get her away. I'm on it, RW. I guess that's why they're out here, Wes. RW's probably in there. Oh, is he? Oh, that is his truck down there, huh? I might have been bruised, I see that. That's probably why those girls are all out there standing on the bridge. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right. Probably in there sweet talking them. Sweet talk them right out of there, huh? Probably not saying should we probably saying it's just flying up yet. Yeah.
Now you're positive, Ron, that there's no take over the pipeline. Is that correct?
I just don't know where all this socialist bunk comes in.
Wait, slow down, Ron, slow down. Oh my God. What's that?
I just don't think. What are you talking about?
What's that right there?
What's that?
You're telling me that...
I really don't know what you're talking about, John.
You're telling me the socialists didn't take over the pipeline? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I don't know what all the hubbub is about our comrade commissioner appointee.
Well, I think it's a sad day when you can't go anywhere in Alaska without... Oh my goodness. We're talking full-scale takeover. Go slow around this guy. I want to check this out. On day 2 of our journey north to Prudo Bay. Last night, after we evaded the armed incursion at the Yukon River, we kept driving north in darkness through blizzards and wind. And now a new day has dawned. Ron and I are on our way. In front of us, new horizons. In back of us, old trails. And now, maybe Ron would like to say just a word or two about whatever he wants to. Ron?
Nah, I don't think so, John.
It's been like this the whole trip. I've tried to draw Ron out on numerous occasions to talk to me just a little bit, enlighten me about this road, this experience. Ahead of us, mountains, the high terrain of the Brooks Range. As things develop, I will continue to film. Again, the silver thread of wealth following the side of the road. The pipeline, who gets us somewhat new start at Prudhoe and ends in Valdez. Hello? My name's John. I've been the voice behind the video, and I felt it was time that I introduce myself. Ron and I have been traveling for 2 days now, north to Alaska, so to speak. Over here we have some of the foothills of the Brooks Range. Grayling Lake froze over in all its majesty. This is a man's country. Rugged, individual, and that's why I choose gold. You know, a regular kind of guy like Ron and I, we do dip when we see this. It's just too much for regular kind of guys like us to go through and not appreciate it. And we have pipeline and oil and wild animals. It's a man's country. I get tears in my eyes. What?
Captain's Bench.
Couple old steam jimmies, drift mining. We're at the Nolan Creek area. Small hill in front of us. Road's gonna get narrower, Ron.
You're gonna have to walk, John.
What's that, Ron?
Last time I went over Chandler, shelf on the north side, there were lots and lots of sheep just right down by the road.
Sheep?
Yeah, maybe we'll get there in the daylight.
What were their names?
Doll. The Doll family.
I've heard that sheep aren't bad.
Not bad.
Somebody told me you couldn't live without you.
No. I really prefer cows, except they've got a big disadvantage. You have to walk too far to kiss them.
And we journey forward north. This, our second day. In the distance, some more foothills to the Brooks Range. Ron?
Said I don't have tobacco on my chin now. I just got done wiping it off.
What's the name of that big mountain up there?
Sukabek.
What's that mean?
I don't know. There's a legend that goes with it, though.
What is it?
I don't know that either. I used to be able to tell you what it was. I can't remember what it is.
Why not?
Just getting old and feeble, I guess.
What do you think it is?
You want me to make one up?
No.
I don't know what it is. I really don't. I can't remember it.
Are we in the Brooks Range yet?
We're in Brooks Range.
North to Prudo Bay, day 2.
This little area here, if you go off the peak of Sukabek Mountain, this one peak sticking up here, that tooth sticking out on the end, you go down in this open flats down in here. Really unique geologic features. They're called pulsars. They're these little bumps. You want me to tell you about pulsars? There are these little bumps here. Out here on the off the right-hand side of the truck. They're where ice lenses freeze in the ground there, and they build up the mound.
Kitchen over there?
One of them.
Let's go get him. Oh, never mind. What do you think, Ron?
Oh, just getting access to the site.
What's that mean for the common? Easy term, layman's terms. What's that word oil spill? What's that mean?
Crude oil is on the outside of the pipe. And, they try to keep it inside, confined within the diameter of that pipe.
And if it's not in the pipe?
Then it's considered spilled in most instances. If it's out on the ground itself.
What if it runs out of the pipe onto the ground?
You want to? You want me to go around with you?
If you like.
To look at some of the
yeah. This is the south end of milepost 200. Moving a pig. This is the south end.
Okay. Thank you. What was that all about, Ron?
I don't know. Alaska security, I guess.
North to Prudo Bay. We're looking south now. We came over in darkness through the Brooks Range, but we spotted some of our men from the armed services camped back here, bivouacked if you would. Looks like a barbed wire enclosure over there. We don't know what's happening here, but we're investigating it. What do you think, Ron? What's the barbed wire for?
I don't know. I guess they got a command post here. Well, I just showed it up.
Can we see something? Alaska or Alaska?
State of Alaska.
State of Alaska. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What do you think, Ron?
Try not to.
Where's this?
This is that's going on pot burner, oil, cook stoves, you know.
That little shack there, huh?
Yeah.
Up there is north. We're still 200 miles away from our destination, Prudo Bay. We're at Galbraith Lake Airport now. There seems to be an armed incursion going on. We've been checked for ID twice. Don't really know what's happening, but your commentator will continue to tell you the developments as they occur. A couple of fuel bladders on the ground. Getting to the heart of the thing. What's that?
Go ahead and swing the first hose.
Keep driving up there. I want to get a shot of that chopper.
Get this PLO out of this fuel area here to get this truck to burn around.
We've been met here by our helicopters. had one of our helicopters come meet us here on our halfway point. We declined the invitation to ride the rest of the way to Prudhoe. Go ahead, guys, take off. Yeah, okay, go ahead. We'll see you later.
Oh, we're good enough!
Go ahead, we don't need to ride, we're gonna drive. Okay, head on back. No. No, we don't need to ride, go ahead, head on back. Yeah, turn around. Thanks, yeah, we'll see you next time, yeah. I guess the word's out. We've been driving now for 3 days. North to Prudo Bay. We have captured the attention of all those we left behind. Both our helicopters came to see if we needed any assistance. To see if we in fact needed a ride. We said no, we'll drive. We'll drive like the real men that we are. On the road, the distance, headlights. More freight all day. This is the last you'll see in the mountains for a while. This is the North Slope we're coming on to. In front of us, the access road. The pipeline in the distance. That's the last hill you'll see for another 200 miles. Right, Ron?
No, that's not right, John.
What?
There's a few more hills.
Where?
Oh, between here and Slope Mountain. But it's almost right, John.
Well, what's the legend of this hill in front of us? Does it have a legend?
I'm not aware of that hill having a legend.
North to Prudo Bay. Big wheels moving, moving on.
Yeah, and more, I'm moving. That's that far, so you can bring it on if you want. Say that again.
Hey!
You wait for me, you can bring it on. There was somebody else up here ahead of me said they were going to stop. This is the blade. That's that one. Yeah, there's about 4 of us together here, and there must be another guy ahead of us up here, so we'll be there pretty soon. We're just putting up tillage right now on top. That's that one.
What kind of animals are those, Ron? Ron, what kind of animals are those?
I'm just not quite sure, John. I've seen lots of those before.
They look like the beaver we saw on day one, only they got different coloring.
Well, yeah, that might be their winter color. They camouflage in the wintertime. These animals, well, a lot of animals do up here in the north. They turn, snow colored in the winter. Ptarmigan do that too, you know.
Well,
but ptarmigan are birds, and I know that those aren't birds.
Well, if they had wings, could they be birds?
Well, they're a little big for that, John.
Well, just looking at them, they've got something under their neck. Looks like an apron or a bib or something. And some of them have things on their head, look like a coat rack or something. Any thoughts on that, or any idea what that might be?
I just really can't say, John.
So your best guess, they could be beavers that are in their winter coat.
Yeah, or a flock of something else. I don't. Yeah, I don't see a lot of water around. Beavers usually like to be around the water, and this looks pretty high for water, so I don't think they're beavers.
Could they be migrating or something?
Well, maybe they're going between ponds or something.
North to Alaska, or to Prudhoe Bay, day 3. It's getting to us both. We've seen so many new things, so many new sights that we can't explain. But we will continue to film and study life in the last frontier. There's some more of those kind of animals over there. Well, we're on the north slope now. Prudo Bay, a mere 60 miles in front of us. Flat, barren, desolate. Maybe Ron has some words to convey to us about this particular stretch of road.
Flat, barren, desolate.
Thank you, Ron.
Beaver out in front of me.
Where? There's some more beavers. I don't know how they handle this kind of climate, being out of the water this long. Next stop, Prudo Bay, the oil fields, and the end of our 3-day journey north to the last frontier. Any words on that, Ron?
I don't think so, John.
What do you expect to find at Prudhoe Bay?
Hot meal.
Has it been 3 days of hell?
It's been a good trip, John.
Seen a lot of wildlife, huh?
Seen a lot of wildlife. A lot of pretty scenery. Weather's been good.
Prudo Bay right now.
Red and white tent there, so we got a hover barge and big the hunt Honeywell or something. Hovercraft. It's pretty interesting.
Well, Ron, here we are, Prudo Bay. Kind of a letdown, Ron. I was expecting a little bit more.
A little bit more what, John?
Well, I thought that after 3 days of grueling, rugged, cross-country type transportation, that at the end of the road there we'd find something a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be, than this.
The end of the rainbow, so to speak.
And does anything about this amaze you, this whole area?
It's the quietness, the bigness of oil development in such a remote place.
I think it's well, maybe my beliefs aren't shared very widely, but I for one thank the oil companies for coming up here and doing us a favor by taking this oil and shipping it south in the pipeline. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, my job is directly related to this, John. If it wasn't for big oil, I wouldn't be here.
So you share with me in extending a big thank you to the oil companies for...
I thank them, John. I thank them one and all.
Are those the oil fields up there in front of us there, Ron?
Arco well houses. It's a drill pad.
And that's where the oil's coming out of the ground, huh?
And those little green buildings there are the wellheads. Each one of those represents a well.
Again, I say thank you, Arcos, Ohio, for coming up to Alaska and giving us a try and taking our oil and providing the rest of the United States with some cheap energy. Ron, any thoughts on that?
No thoughts on that, John.
Not even one.
Not even one.
Prudo Bay. Here we have some kind of a building.
This is the North Slope Borough Incinerator. This is January 31st at 3 p.m.
Do you want me to film the smoke coming out of their stack?
Please.
Looks opacity, huh?
Opaque.
Yeah, that's...
It's hard to tell how much of that is vapor plume and how much of it is actual smoke.
Do you care?
Yes.
Why?
Because you regulate the amount of smoke coming out. You don't regulate the amount of moisture.
Yesterday you were talking a little bit about an oil spill. You know, you said it was an oil spill if the pipe was outside of the oil was outside of the pipe. Now, could you maybe in layman's terms explain what you mean when you say the smoke is coming out of the smokestack? Maybe explain that term. What's that mean for us that don't share your abundant knowledge?
Well, it's really quite complicated, John, but basically they build a fire down at the bottom of that stack, and at the very top of it, at the end of the pipe, at the end of the stack, the exhaust fumes from the fire down below exit. And once they leave the top edge of that pipe, that means that the smoke is entering or leaving the pipe, and it's on the outside of the stack.
So it's kind of like an air spill, a smoke spill.
It would be a smoke spill, except it's not a spill because they are intentionally putting it there. It's a smoke placement, if you will.
Thank you. Maybe some other thoughts. Over there, you said there is a building. What kind of building is that?
It's a solid waste disposal facility. The red building on the left is the North Slope Borough housing quarters for the maintenance people that work in the blue building.
Okay,
on the right.
Very interesting. What do you mean when you say housing quarters for the maintenance workers? Maybe in layman's terminology, what exactly do you mean by that statement?
People that work in the blue building, which was on the right, spend the night in the red building, which is on the left. And the housing quarters mean that it's the shelter in which they live when they are not working.
In other words, like a place where they live.
It's a place where they live, John. Right, exactly.
Thank you, Ron. They don't have too far to go to work, do they, Ron?
No.
Do they take a bus, do you think?
Some of them do, yes.
Okay. Very interesting. North. We're in Prudo Bay. We're enjoying ourselves, looking at oil field development. We've learned such things as air spills, so to speak, and living quarters, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Some more oil wells over there. Ron tells me we're going to go to the Beaufort Sea. And that seems like a fitting place to end this 3-day journey north to Alaska. Maybe, Ron, tell us, what is the Beaufort Sea and where is it located?
The Beaufort Sea
Is that the same as the Beaufort Sea?
same as the Beaufort. Some people say Beaufort, some people say Beaufort. Some people say tomato, some people say tomato.
Some people say Beaufort.
Some people say Beaufort.
Okay.
Depends on which dialect which you speak, I guess.
And that's where we're going right now.
It's a saltwater body which borders the north coast of the North American continent.
Would you feel safe in saying it was an ocean?
Yes. It's part of the Arctic Ocean.
Then why isn't it called the Beaufort Ocean instead of the Beaufort Sea? Any comments you might have?
There is the Arctic Ocean, which incorporates all the minor or subsections or seas. They're very much like this. The United States is divided into 50 states. The Arctic Ocean is divided into several separate seas.
50 seas?
I don't know how many seas there are in the Arctic Ocean.
But I think I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate your in-depth. I appreciate your in-depth explanation. What's that up there?
It's
Never mind. What's that over there, Ron?
storage area for Halliburton. It's a drill mud
Now,
consultant on the slope here.
when you say storage area, what exactly do you mean by that? Just for the common man, for the everyday man.
It's a place where field operators accumulate and stock the supplies that they're going to be needing in the future.
In other words, a place where you store things.
A place where you store things.
I understand. This is certainly very interesting, and it appears that we're getting closer all the time to our destination, the Beaufort Sea, one of the 50 parts of the Arctic Ocean. What's the temperature here in Prudo Bay today? -3 degrees, 19 degrees.
-3 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we're coming to a checkpoint here, huh?
This is a ARCO security checkpoint.
Honey,
Hello.
can I get your name, please?
Ron McCallister, and I'm with the State Department of Environmental Conservation, and I'm headed out toward the North Slope Borough landfill and East Dock.
That's with Environmental Conservation?
That's correct.
Am I on the movies now?
You're in the background. Give us a big smile, you'll be on them. There you go.
I feel privileged. Do you have a number on this vehicle? And run that by me where you're going again.
The Oxbow landfill and East Dock.
Thank you.
You bet.
Good day.
Thank you. Why'd you tell them we were going somewhere where we're not, Ron?
We are going to East Dock.
Are we?
Yeah.
What's this Oxbow thing I heard you talking about?
It's on the way. It's the North Slope Borough has a solid waste disposal facility, and it's located on the road to the East Dock.
Is that ARCO's operation over there?
Yeah, that's PDOC. Prudhoe Base Operations Center of ARCO. Those would be the white and red buildings in the background. These are green buildings in the foreground here. ARCO's Recycling Center.
What do they recycle?
Drill pipe and unused materials based on some of their construction projects. It's actually just part of their supply center, but they re-inventory the.
ARCO has their own runway up here, huh?
Yeah,
Now what is that, their main camp over there?
that's their, for the eastern half of the field it is. Prudo Base Operations Centers, or prime camp.
Approaching the shores of the Beaufort Sea. They're building roads out into the ocean for drilling sites. A couple boats up there on the end of the dock. Frozen in on the vast expanse of the Beaufort ice.
That's a hover barge closest to us now.
That's hover barge closest to us. Take a right. Here we are. We made it. In the back, in the distance, offshore drilling rigs.
Those are onshore.
No, those are onshore. I'd have to look out this window over here. The rig, the boat, and off in the distance, way out there is a driller rig offshore. Some vehicles going out there where they're hauling the gravel to build the roads with. Well, we made it. 3 days. 3 days from Fairbanks to Prudo Bay. 3 days that I'll never forget myself, and I'm thanking Ron for explaining a lot of things along the way. We can do this again sometime. Maybe get those trucks out of here. Go to another area, another part of development interest in the state. One thing I did learn: the skull made the trip. Without my skull, I wouldn't be standing here right now with it in my hand. I think behind me, Beaufort Sea, oil development. This is a boat right here behind me. It's a hovercraft. And what it does, the principle is real simple. It's got a couple big air valves. It'll blow the air up underneath the boat and it lifts it off the water. I've got oil wells out in the ocean. They need to get out there when it's wintertime, where you've got sand and gravel on a road, you can build it. You can't build it in the summertime. In the summertime, you got to take a boat out there. Now, maybe I can come back in the summer and explain to you just how this kind of stuff works, because I'm finding out I'm real good at these kind of documentaries, and I think people enjoy listening to somebody that knows what they're talking about. They can understand and relate to them. I'm the working man's narrator. If I hear something I don't understand, by golly, I try to find out and get an answer for it. Ron's been exceptional in this regard. I asked him, Ron, what do you mean by this? Ron, what do you mean by that? Then he tells me. He explains it so everybody can understand it. And I enjoy being a TV personality. I enjoy explaining things to people, getting up close and personal with them, and saying, this is the way it is. And sometimes I don't get a real good response from them. I don't understand it. But I still like to explain it. Anyways, thanks for joining us. It's been 3 wonderful days. We're looking forward to our next trip north to Alaska.